Here's the deal.
The hate is gonna hate.
Alright, I'm sorry. I have to set this straight, guys.
Oh boy.
I know there's haters. I actually really enjoyed Beyonce's country album. I thought it was good. And I think she can actually do country better than most of the modern country artists that are out there. I said it. Send your hate mail right here, right to me. You don't have to worry about him. Send it all to me, okay?
I don't agree with Kyle on his complete country take, but I agree with him on the Beyonce country take. I just wanted to make that clear. I enjoy a wide array of music genres, and country is one of them. Partially because I'm a big baseball fan, and just for some reason baseball and country music go together. Like when you're at a baseball game, you hear a lot of country music. Yeah. And also baseball is America's pastime, so it's like
true.
6-7.
But
hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Another lovely Tuesday evening that we have come to you from the couch to talk some sports and other things, for that matter.
Hell yeah.
Tonight, first of all, before I get into what the episode is going to be about, just want to, as always, throw a special shout out to our two sponsors, Simon Organizing and Wes Woodson. Thank you, as always, for the support. We appreciate it. Now, on to tonight's episode. As I was just saying, it's going to be a very simple episode tonight. It's going to be your sort of basic baseline Robbie's football recap, which, yes, is still going on and will be going on for at least one more week. As we'll get into here in just a minute, and the Stooge reviews, which will continue to go on for generations. As long as there is art, like media and art and performing arts, there will be a Stooge reviews, because cinema never sleeps. Neither does New York City, for that matter. It's kind of random side note there, but anyway,
Good.
So I'm going to start with the Robbie's football recap, and I'm actually going to sort of involve Kyle in tonight's Robbie's football recap, because before I get into the Patriots, which obviously I'm going to get into here in just a minute, the one team, as I said before, remaining in the Robbie's football recap, there has been some news in Robbie's football recap land on the Wellesley High School front. Longtime Wellesley High School coach and head coach Jesse Davis is stepping down from the Wellesley High School football program after 14 years as head coach and over 2 decades as a coach in general in the program. Also a proud, much like Kyle and myself, Wellesley High alum, class of 1999. Just a long time, participant on all fronts in the Wellesley High football program, and he has made the decision to step down after this season, which saw the Raiders go 6-5 and win on Thanksgiving, snap a 2-year losing streak on Thanksgiving. So, Kyle, I just kind of wanted to, as someone who, you played for Coach Davis, when he was assistant coach, obviously back in the back in our high school days, you know him from over the years and stuff like that. Just your reaction to this news that he is stepping away as coach of the Raider football program.
I mean, I first off, I just want to say I really did have a great time with him. I really do think he's a great coach. I only really got to know him, though, because he was, even while he was the assistant, kind of the assistant coach in previous years that I was there, I didn't really get to know him until at least my senior year, because that's when he actually became the head line coach. And then also it was kind of cool because he also, because our previous coach that was there, Ruben, who was also fantastic coach, incredible dude. he ended up actually stepping away as well at that time, and because our coach Ruben had duties of line coach and also the throwing coach in track, Davis actually kind of took his spot as well in track, which is really cool, I thought. And no, I really had a great time with him. He was a really fun guy, and no, I really learned a lot during especially my senior year, and I thought it was definitely a bit of a surprise to hear, but I understand too, because I feel like Davis was there for quite a bit of time, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 14 years as head coach, and 20 years as a coach within the program.
Yeah, that's a while. That's commitment. Jeez.
Yeah, he's been a stalwart in the Raider football program over the last 2 decades. But yeah, I agree. I mean, Coach Davis, just a really, getting to know him, obviously, the 1 year that I posted, or the first year that he joined the coaching staff, I didn't really know him that much like that, but like sort of getting to know him through my later years of high school, and sort of through the fact that I announced Wellesley High football games and stuff like that over the years, stuff like that. He really turned that program into something sort of the town, not that it wasn't before, but something really the town can really be proud of. He had a lot of really successful seasons, a lot of playoff appearances, that led the team not this past season, but the year before, to the state semifinals. Just a lot of great memories from his time, behind the bench. Developed a lot of really talented players who went on to do big things, at Wellesley High and beyond. And, I just obviously wanted to sort of give a great coaching career the kudos that it deserves. And, I think I speak for both of us here on the couch where I say, we just wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors. Obviously, he's going to be staying in the Wellesley High community as a teacher, and I think nice. I heard he might be continuing to coach other sports as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but just wanted to congratulate him on a really successful coaching career, and it was a lot of fun watching his teams over the years, and we wish him nothing but the best as he moves forward, and can't wait to see who the next coach of Raider football is going to be, and what they can do as the program will enter a new chapter starting with this upcoming 2026 fall season. So
stay tuned.
Yeah. So now on to sort of the main portion of the Robbie's football recap. As I said, Robbie's football recap will be continuing for at least one more week, because the Patriots won their first playoff game on Sunday night, taking down the San Diego Chargers at home for what not only was their first playoff win since the 2018 season, but was also their first home playoff win since the 2018 season, and just a really, really exciting just game, really, really exciting atmosphere at Gillette Stadium. It sounded like it was rocking on Sunday night, and just really happy the Patriots now get to move on to the divisional round of the playoffs, where they will take on the Houston Texans this coming Sunday afternoon back at Gillette Stadium. So, Kyle, I just wanted to bring you back in to sort of get your quick sort of reaction here to the Patriots getting their first playoff victory in 7 years, and now moving on to the next round.
No, I'm really glad. That's it's nice when, I know we took definitely a bit of a fall between when we had kind of our winning dynasty, the dynasty years, if you will, with Brady and Belichick, and and it was I understand the frustration that came from it, but it is nice that, while I don't know if we'll ever get to that level, honestly, I don't think too many teams will get to that level, for a little while at least, but it's nice to see that the team now is built to kind of like they're all kind of at an equal level. You know, they're equal playing field with like a lot of the other really good teams out there. So it's nice to see the Patriots kind of, you're right, bring it back. You know, saddle up.
I agree,
if you will, like the Red Sox.
I am in complete agreement with you. Yeah, and like I said, so now the Patriots move on, like I said, to the divisional round, again, hosting the Houston Texans 3 o'clock on Sunday back at Gillette Stadium, and obviously next week I will be back with another edition of the Robbie's Football Recap. I mean, hopefully it'll not, even that one will not be the last one, because it'll mean that the Patriots have continued on to the AFC Championship game. But again, we shall see. And with the win this past week, I improved to 34-23 so far on the Robbie's Football Recap season. So
cool.
Continuing to climb the rankings, so to speak. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, so just wanted to touch on both those things for this week's Robbie's Football Recap. And now I'm going to turn over to Kyle for what I am sure will be another riveting edition of the Sue's Reviews, because I can see he's got a lot of notes tonight. So I'm very excited to see what he has to say. So take it away.
Cool. So just a quick disclaimer: I will actually ask you a question at the towards the end of the segment. I hope
ask me or the audience.
Ask you, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the audience too. This is actually kind of an open question I was going to ask people towards the end. Actually, after I ask Robbie as well, and you guys are obviously welcome to comment and do what you got to do. So I wanted to kind of do the first annual Susie's Awards. So
sorry,
essentially, so I'm not going to do it like exactly like the Oscars. It's hard to kind of like. It's kind of hard to like, because I feel like there were a lot of really good movies this year, and I just wanted to really basically kind of like what I did with the Halloween episode, where I wanted to break down just movies that I really liked, and in no particular order. It's just the movies that I really enjoyed this year, the movies that I would definitely recommend you guys watch. I do have a couple I have an honorable mention and a dishonorable mention too, though. And the dishonorable mention, I'm actually really curious. I'm curious to see what you guys think, and I'm going to save that kind of towards the end, because it'll be more of a constructive criticism, if you will. I don't want to completely bash a movie and just say, oh, this is the worst movie of all time. The director, the writers, and the actors should all be ashamed, and they should just quit movies altogether. I'm not going to go in that direction. I know a lot of YouTube channels like to do that, but I'm not going to do that. I like to try to put a positive spin on things. So with that said, so here are the movies that I just really enjoyed. I'm not going to give any score. I'm just going to talk about them for a little bit. Just a very quick, like, reason why I like them, and yeah, and why, and so okay, so I'll start off with actually Good Boy. Good Boy is a horror movie actually that came out kind of towards the end of, it was like the middle to end of last year, and it actually stars a dog. A dog is the main character, and what's kind of blowing my mind is that the dog, who honestly was an incredibly, like, is a really good actor. Like, I was surprised at how much emotion that they put in the whole role of the dog. It's basically about a dog who moves into, or he basically, like, follows his owner into this, like, abandoned cabin, and this owner needs to go on a, kind of on a little bit of a retreat, if you will, but then, strange things start happening in the cabin, and basically, like, you realize, ooh, there might be some hauntings kind of about. And the dog actually has been winning awards. The dog has been actually beating out other really famous actors for awards. And I'm wondering, I'm like, that would be, I don't know, to me, I just had this funny image of, like, the Oscars this year, and they're like, oh, the Oscar goes to, and then you have, like, Joaquin Phoenix and, like, I'm trying to think who else, just whoever was in, like, all the famous movies, and they were like, oh, it goes to, and then they just throw the Oscar in the air and the dog just catches it or something like that. I don't know. I think that'd be hilarious, but that would be best actor. So yes, I definitely recommend Good Boy. Great horror movie. Dog steals the show, 100%. Incredible dog. So next one is Sinners. When you kind of walk into it, you don't want to spoil too much, or you don't want to look at too many like trailers and stuff like that, because Sinners is best enjoyed when you don't really know what's going on. It's a kind of a period piece movie where you kind of see the story play out. Michael B. Jordan, as the two brothers are like, he plays twins in the movie. It's kind of interesting. He's incredible. Like he nails the role, and like I don't want to spoil too much of the story because it is a really good story. And the first half kind of has a certain pace to it, but then the second half, it's just, you'll see. Like the movie will literally pull the rug from under you, and it's really cool. And I really enjoyed it for that. So I highly recommend it. So yeah, definitely check it out. Eddington, next movie. Loved. Was a movie actually I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did. I'm kind of so with the director Ari Aster. He's okay. Like I wasn't really that big of a fan, admittedly, of Midsommar, but I enjoyed Hereditary, and I was like, I didn't really know what to think of the movie that he did, Beau is Afraid. I'm not sure whether I liked it or didn't like it. I just saw it and I'm like, what the hell happened? This movie I actually thought had the best story that he's done so far, and it's basically about this town that during like the height of COVID, essentially, it takes place in 2020, and how this sheriff played by Joaquin Phoenix goes against the mayor played by Pedro Pascal. And the mayor is very like, he's pro masks, and he's like, yeah, everyone, we gotta protect ourselves from the pandemic. But then, Joaquin Phoenix, like, he's kind of more of a blue-collar type sheriff, and he's very anti-mask, and I thought it had a very interesting kind of tension throughout the movie, but a lot of unexpected. It's a movie that has a lot of very kind of, you don't really know that's how a lot of Ari Aster's movies play out. The director, you don't really know what's going to happen, and yes, crazy things like crazy twists and just very unexpected moments happen, and I just like where the movie went, and that's another one where I don't want to spoil too much of the story either, because you just kind of have to see it to believe it. It's almost like a kind of a semi-western, kind of a dark modern western, if you will. So very good, very good. Next movie, Predator, Killer of Killers, is an animated movie. It's a short one too. It's like an hour and a half. It was on Hulu actually. It wasn't even in theaters. But it's a movie that it's kind of a 3-part anthology movie, and then it has a really cool sort of like they all kind of come together in the end, and each sort of like little anthology like episode, if you will, takes place during different time periods, and you actually see all these different characters from different time periods fight the Predator, and it's really cool. And I thought they did a really great job with the world building and the story and everything, and definitely a movie you should check out. Love it. All right, so Friendship, next movie. I think might be my favorite comedy of last year. It's actually, so Tim Robinson stars in it from the show I Think You Should Leave and Detroiters, and and if you guys are a fan of his type of humor, it's a very weird and very dark movie. But you could tell it's a very Tim Robinson type of movie. It's got his very odd humor and odd timing and just very odd situations. It's kind of a little bit like I Love You Man, because it's funny because both movies, actually, this and I Love You Man, both have Paul Rudd in it, and Paul Rudd is a central character in both movies, but so this does kind of play out like similarly to I Love You Man in the sense where it's like this guy he ends up becoming friends with Paul Rudd, so it's like, okay, it's got that kind of similar setup, if you will. But it's another one where it's just it takes that weird Tim Robinson turn. It just goes very unexpected, and there's a lot of random funny moments, and yeah, it's really good. Wake Up Dead Man is a mystery movie. It's actually the third entry in Rian Johnson's detective sort of, I guess you could say, Knives Out universe. And I thought it was just a really solid detective movie. It was very straightforward. It's a very straightforward kind of whodunit where it's about this priest and he has to kind of like solve this murder, and then eventually Daniel Craig's character from the other two movies, Glass Onion and the first Knives Out, he comes in. It's kind of like sort of Detective Poirot from the French, Agatha Christie novels there. So yeah, Daniel Craig kind of like, he's more like the southern version. So he has like I always love seeing Daniel Craig in these movies. So if you like Knives Out and Glass Onion, I think you're going to like this one too. This one definitely has more of like a religious vibe to it, because it does take place, the whole setting is like within like a church community essentially. So, but it's a really good mystery. So definitely check it out. And speaking of mystery movies, Weapons. That's another movie. I feel like a lot of these movies, I can't talk too much about the plot. Weapons is a great plot. It's definitely more of a horror movie. It's basically about this whole class that disappears one night, and except for this one kid, it's like a class of like elementary school students, and they just one night they get up and they just all run out of the house, and they're all from the same class, and all the kids ran out except for one kid. And it's kind of it's definitely a very like sort of a horror thriller, and you have to kind of, the whole mystery is, okay, what happened to these kids, like what's going on. And it is kind of dark, but also it has some surprisingly funny moments, and you'll see what I mean. Like they actually, because the movie kind of switches to different perspectives, which I thought was really awesome. So you get to see actually different characters throughout the movie, and you get to see how the story plays from their perspective. And I thought they did a really good job with that. And it really kept the tension high. And once you kind of like go deeper in the mystery and solve it, stuff like that, it just kind of comes to a really great ending too. Like you'll see what I mean. It's wild. It has a great, like very unexpected ending too. So definitely recommend that. But I'm gonna move from funny to slightly actually sad. This movie actually made me cry. Hamnet. It's actually based on kind of the life of Shakespeare, and how he falls in love with this woman and he has kids and stuff like that. But then he kind of like, the whole movie is basically him, her dealing with him always going off and writing plays. And it's a movie that it was really well directed, very well acted. I liked the main character. What was his name? The guy from Gladiator 2. Oh, Paul Mescal. There we go. He was really great as Shakespeare, and you get to, and the whole emotional impact of the movie for me was the family dynamic, and the actress who played his wife, incredible, so amazing. I hope she wins an Oscar. She was great. I would even argue that she was really the main character of this movie. And just like, I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the few movies I've seen in my life that actually left me in tears. I was actually crying with like two of my other buddies I saw it with. It was kind of funny. Like and you could even hear in the theater people were actually like sniffling. That like it was a really. That's another one. I won't spoil it for you if you don't know the story, but it's really good. It really hits you at the end, and I don't think there was a dry eye in the house, honestly. It was, wow. It just, okay. And then, we're down to our last few ones here. And then I'll just do a quick honorable mentions. And then, we got Superman. I just thought it was a really good superhero movie. The effects were incredible. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, was just the effects, the music. The effects were probably some of the best looking effects I've seen. And I even, after looking at behind the scenes thing that they made of it, like, I just love, like you can tell they worked really hard. They didn't just phone it in with like the CGI like they do with a lot of other big blockbuster action and superhero movies. They actually took the time and they actually made the effects look really good. And the guy who played Superman, David Cornsweet, and the rest of the cast, they were great. I thought they were perfectly cast, honestly. It was directed by James Gunn. He knows how to direct a superhero movie. He's already done a bunch before this. And I think it's nice to see a director who clearly understands the character of Superman and the world of Superman. My only slight complaint was there were few too many heroes, I thought, superheroes. Like, he didn't have to have there was like Green Lantern and Hawkgirl, they were great. Again, perfectly cast. But I think they could have maybe saved like another movie or maybe show for them. But otherwise, I thought it was probably my favorite superhero movie of the year. Frankenstein, probably the best adaptation that I've seen of the book. Frankenstein was amazing. Definitely check it out. It's on Netflix, so it's very easy to watch. One of Guillermo del Toro's, I think, best movies that he's done in a long time. It's a very effective story, and again, it's another sort of like Weapons, where you kind of see the story from two different perspectives. You see it from the first half from Victor, second half from Frankenstein's monster. So the acting all around, again, was great. It looked amazing. This was probably my favorite looking movie of the year, I'm not going to lie. It was just hands down a beautiful movie to watch. And Guillermo del Toro, he knows how to shoot the hell of out of a movie. He's a great director. 20 years later, probably my favorite movie actually of the year, I would say. I just loved. It was actually the movie I saw the most times in theaters. I thought it was a great follow-up to the other two 28 movies. Basically a zombie movie about a zombie outbreak. But then you kind of see the aftermath of how the UK deals with it. It's all kind of takes place in they kind of like they kind of like seclude it just to England. So you kind of see this sort of post-apocalyptic England, like the movie says, 20 years later after the outbreak happens, and it was just a really great story. It had kind of almost like a Lord of the Rings vibe to it, which I really dug. It's kind of like a more modern zombie version of Lord of the Rings. All there for it. The actors are amazing. It was thrilling, scary when it needed to be, but also just a really good story. Very human too, and also another movie where I pretty much cried. And you'll see when you watch towards the end, there's some very sad scenes. So yeah, but very good. Honorable mention: Life of Chuck came out in 2024 technically, but it's just a movie I recommend you guys watch. I won't say too much more. Life of Chuck is a great movie. I think you guys should check it out. I think it's on Disney Plus and Hulu now, so there you go. Honorable mention, or I should say dishonorable mention, is Abraham's Boys. Is a movie that I think had it had an interesting concept. It's basically about Van Helsing, who moves basically into I think it's like Midwest America or something like that, and he raises two kids, and he basically he tries to get away from his vampire hunting life, essentially. But the past catches up to him, and vampires start appearing, or so they thought. I am going to get into some spoilers here. It's not a good movie. It's actually one of the worst movies I've seen in a while. It takes a really great concept, and I think, that was kind of mean. Not one of the worst movies in a while. I should say it was one of the most disappointing movies in a while, because I loved the concept, but they didn't really do much with it. It was a very quick hour-and-a-half movie, and just the way, and just things kind of happen. Characters appear, but then they just leave, and you don't know. They just kind of appear in like one or two scenes, and then they just go away. And it's just like, okay, what was the point of these characters outside of just quick exposition? I just kind of wish the movie. I think they could have gone a little farther with what they had, and there was a kind of a neat twist where, okay, you found out that Van Helsing is actually a crazy guy. There were no vampires, but again, it was just so poorly handled. The son finds out, and he's like, "Oh, I got to get my dad." And there's a scene where Van Helsing's like, "Okay," he just pushes the son down a set of stairs, but then the son just runs up the stairs, barely injured, and he just opens the door. And it's like, you think Van Helsing in his never-ending quest to kill, to be a serial killer or whatever, would lock the door, but no. He just leaves it unlocked, and the son just easily escapes. And it was just kind of a silly moment. I'm just like, I don't know. It just seemed like they really rushed the whole movie, and I think they could have done better with the concept. I liked the setting of it. I thought the setting was good. It was definitely in a Midwestern kind of vibe. They shot in these really nice prairies and stuff like that. But again, it just, and the actors were good. I liked all the actors. I think they did the best with what they had, which was not much. So, I think maybe if someone decided to remake the movie and maybe tried to kind of take a little further than where it was, then I think actually it would be a really good concept. So, that's all I wanted to say for my picks. Did you have any movies that you really enjoyed last year?
I'm not someone who really goes to the movies, so to speak, like you do, stuff like that. So I don't really have. I guess honestly, I really don't have I mean, I'm sure if I gave it a little bit more thought, like I maybe could come up with something, but right off the top of my head, I really don't have anything. And I think honestly, you covered a great wide array of movies and stuff like that. So yeah, I really don't. I hate to say it, but I also don't hate to say it. I don't really have a whole lot to add in this moment. So.
Okay, no worries. No, I should have. No worries. Yeah, I think that'll. Yeah, I was trying to think. I thought I had something else to say, but no, I think we're good. That pretty much concludes the first annual Susie's. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask actually you guys if you guys had any picks that any movies that you guys really enjoyed that you saw this past year. If you do, just throw in the comments and yeah, love to read them.
Very good. Thank you, Kyle, for that. That was awesome.
Thank you. I hope that was a little longer than I expected, but that's okay.
That's okay. That was okay. I mean, honestly,
I was trying
with
to
how short the Robbie's football recap is, it probably is not that long of an episode, even with you going off on your movies. So, excuse me. No, really appreciate it. Well done, Kyle. So,
thank you.
That is going to wind it down for us here for another episode of On a Couch Talking Sports. Want as always, thank everybody for joining us here and here on YouTube. And if you liked the episode, please, as always, like and subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Tell your friends. We're here on YouTube. We're also on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Definitely. Just give us a follow, please. We really enjoy, as always, making these episodes for you guys. And so, big thank you to our two sponsors, as always, Diamond Organizing and Wes Woodson. And yeah, that is going to do it for us here for this latest episode. So I'm going to sign off now and say, for Kyle, I'm Robbie. And we'll see you next time here on a Couch Talking Sports. Bye, everybody.